friends. Yvonne Stewart here with you in our study on Why Should I Give? We've been journeying through the scriptures to find out God's heart on giving. In part 22 today, I want to talk to you about some details of giving: the who, the what, the where, the when, and the how. First of all, who should give and who should we give to? Number one, believers should give. Acts 2:44-46 says, and all the believers met together in one place and shared everything they had. They sold their property and possessions and shared the money with those in need. They worshiped together at the temple each day, met for the Lord's Supper, and shared their meals with great joy and generosity. Number two, give to believers who are in need. Refer back to that verse I just read, and also 2 Corinthians 8:19. He was appointed by the churches to accompany us as we take the offering to Jerusalem, a service that glorifies the Lord and shows our eagerness to help. This is what is called almsgiving and refers to anything we give to help someone in need. The Lord considers it an offering when we feed the homeless, help a single mom with gas or groceries, take clothing to a shelter, or even help our friend with their electric bill. Number three, give to missionaries and itinerant preachers. I spoke about this entirely in my last video. Let me read Philippians 4:14-16. Paul says, even so, you have done well to share with me in my present difficulty. As you know, you Philippians were the only ones who gave me financial help when I first brought you the good news and traveled on from Macedonia. No other church did this. Even when I was in Thessalonica, you sent help more than once. And in Acts 28:10, he says, as a result, we were showered with honors. And when the time came to sail, people supplied us with everything we would need for the trip. Reason number four, the fourth thing that what we should do with our giving is to give to people that you do not want anything to do with. From Luke chapter 10:33-35. Then a despised Samaritan came along, and when he saw the man, he felt compassion for him. Going over to him, the Samaritan soothed his wounds with olive oil and wine and bandaged them. Then he put the man on his own donkey and took him to an inn where he took care of him. The next day he handed the innkeeper 2 silver coins, telling him, take care of this man. If his bill runs higher than this, I'll pay you the next time I'm here. Number 5, give to disaster relief projects. Isaiah 21:14 says, O people of Tema, bring water to these thirsty people, food to these weary refugees. Number 6, give if you fear the Lord. Acts 10:2 says, he was a devout, God-fearing man, as was everyone in his household. He gave generously to the poor and prayed regularly to God. Number 7, we should give to the poor, widows, and orphans. Job 29:11-13 says, all those who heard me praised me. All those who saw me spoke well of me, for I assisted the poor in their need and the orphans who required help. I helped those without hope, and they blessed me, and I caused the widows' hearts to sing for joy. And James 1:27 says, pure and genuine religion in the sight of God the Father means caring for orphans and widows in their distress and refusing to let the world corrupt you. What should we give? Number 1, give what you have and in proportion to what you have. 2 Corinthians 8:11 says, now you should finish what you started. Let the eagerness you showed in the beginning be matched now by your giving. Give in proportion to what you have. In Proverbs 21:26 from the Message says, sinners are always wanting what they don't have. The God loyal are always giving what they do have. Number Number 2, give anything you want to. 2 Corinthians 8:12 says, whatever you give is acceptable if you give it eagerly, and give according to what you have, not what you don't have. 2 Corinthians 9:7 says, you must each decide in your heart what to give and how much to give. Number 3, give your best. Leviticus 22:17-25 from the Message says, God spoke to Moses, tell Aaron and his sons and all the people of Israel, each and every one of you, whether a native or a foreigner who presents a whole burnt offering to God to fulfill a vow or as a free will offering, must make sure that it is a male without defect from cattle, sheep, or goats for it to be acceptable. Don't try slipping in some creature that has a defect. It won't be accepted. Whenever anyone brings an offering from cattle or sheep to fulfill a vow or a free will offering, it has to be perfect, without defect, to be acceptable. Don't try giving God an animal that is blind, crippled, mutilated, or an animal with running sores, a rash, or mange. Don't place any of these on the altar as a gift to God. You may, though, offer an ox or a sheep that is deformed or stunted as a free will offering, but it is not acceptable in fulfilling a vow. Don't offer God an animal with bruised, crushed, torn, or cut off testicles. Don't do this in your own land, but don't accept them from foreigners and present them as food for your God, because these forms of deformities and defects will not be acceptable. And in Malachi 1:8, it says, when you give blind animals as sacrifice, isn't that wrong? And isn't it wrong to offer animals that are crippled and diseases? Try giving that gift to your governor and see how pleased he is, says the Lord of heaven's armies. Number 4, give as much as you can. Acts 11:29 says, the believers in Antioch decided to send relief to the brothers and sisters in Judea, everyone giving as much as they could. And 2 Corinthians 8:2-5, talking about the same offering, says about the Macedonian church, they are being tested by many troubles and they are very poor, but they are also filled with abundant joy, which has overflowed in rich generosity. For I can testify that they gave not only what they could afford, but far more. And they did it of their own free will. They begged us again and again for the privilege of sharing in the gift for the believers in Jerusalem. And they did even more than we had hoped. Well, that's all for today. I hope you received some revelation from God about who to give to and what to give. We'll discover some more in our next video on Monday. Make sure you check out the scriptures that I read or referred to. They're in the description of this video. Have a blessed week.